G'day guys, it's Jake here. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Please do your own research when it comes to investing. Please be sure to check out my links below, including exchanges I use and social media content that I post. Alright, let's go. So the topic for this video will be going over the dominance charts, altcoins against Bitcoin and just USDT dominance and the dollar. And Bitcoin dominance as well. And so we'll look at Bitcoin price to finish off with. Okay, so but before we go into that, we'll look at some metrics, the crypto greed and fiat, and the Google Trends, and the upcoming week for economics. So the economic calendar is quite busy this week. We have the US, we have inflation numbers coming out, the CPI, Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. my time. And so core and standard inflation, month over month and year over year. And then on Thursday, we have PPI, so price producer index, so the producer costs. And this is the consumers, okay? The goods inflation and the manufacturing inflation, all right? And then that is pretty much it. We've got the bond auctions on and all that. So that'd be interesting to see that. And the 10-year note auction as well. And that's about it. But yeah, the main volatile news obviously is in red. That's the inflation numbers coming out for the week. So whether they come in below like these numbers, especially the year-over-year inflation rate, which is the main number here, 2.9%. We'll see if it prints below at 2.8 or stays at 2.9. Depends, but the consensus is 2.6, so big drop. And 2.7 forecast. So there's expecting a big drop here. If it doesn't drop by a lot, it's going to be for sticky. If it goes up to 3, I don't think the market's going to like that. All right. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if those numbers are coming out. So we have Bitcoin on Google Trends, and over the past 5 years worldwide, okay, as you can see, whoops, slipped, and go back to 2019. All right. See these teen levels. These 12s, 13s, and 15s. So, these sort of levels. And guess where we are right now? We're 19. We're in the teens again. Back to the teens. So, 19 and then 19 again. So it goes by each week, essentially. And so last week's the same, pretty much flat. But you can see, if euphoria in March was 52, and then it's all back down to 19, okay? And it goes back to, January, February of this year, okay, these levels. And if you go back further, it's December 2023, and not far off. And this basically summer lull in 2023. So you see the interest is really low, and it goes to 100, of course. And you can see, the 2021 peak was 100, and shot straight through it, but we are right down at 19. So not many people are interested in the space right now. It's just very evident in the Google Trends chart. Okay, and updates every week, as I mentioned. If I go to 2004 to present, so a bit longer time frame, obviously since the inception of Bitcoin, 2009-ish, and it gradually grows over time. As you can see, the chart does trend up, and the lows do go higher and higher and higher, as you can see there. But the highs don't always go higher, okay? So, 2013, we had like a 12 high. That was a peak. And it came back down to 3s and 2s. But when it goes up to the top here, you go, 100 in 2017. That was a very, very peak euphoria. And Google search trends were through the roof, of course. And they just spiked right back down into the teens. Okay. And then 2021, euphoria mania phase, got to 70-ish, 69. Can't really go higher. But you get the point. And that lower high there was 67. Okay. And then we went and we grinded and made lower highs and went lower until the bear market in 2022 into 2023. And we got to the teens, and 15 was the low. And this recent pump to March was 41. And you can see we're at 19. So we are trending down. It looks like it wants to go lower. And it's not technical analysis, but if you wanted to chart this, it looks like it wants to go down and retest these mid-teen levels, and potentially Hopefully not too bad, but we'll see. Could be 10 or so, or 9. Like anyway, I don't see it going down to like the 3s, 5s, and 7s, and anything below in the single digits, in the double digits. But anything can happen. Search trends. You can see there's no retail, pretty much like no retail. Searching up and then getting involved. It's very, very minimal. It's very, very niche at this stage. And you want to see people just flock in by the boatloads, and that's when the fun happens. But it just shows you've got plenty of time for the cycle. Okay, that's what it has playing at right now on the Bitcoin search trends over time. Now we have crypto greed and fear. We're at 26 at the moment, so we are in the orange part, not in the extreme, but we are in fear territory. Okay, and as you can see, the greed and fear over time in the past, so from late August. Okay, so been 30s, 29, 34, and then we came back to the 20s in September now. Okay, so mid-20s, okay, a little bit to 29, and back down again to early 20s, and then back to 29 again, and then 26. So we're in the 20s, so very fearful, essentially. Not extremely fearful, not the end of the world, but fearful nevertheless. Okay, we go back a year ago, and at this time last year, roughly 11th of September, okay, and we're at 40 and 30, respectively. You can't really hover over it. There we go, there, 30. So we are in lower territory than we were back in 2023. Go to the max, you probably see it a bit clearly, and here it was here, September and August. So we didn't get to the 20s, got to 30, but didn't get down here. Now we're actually further down. Okay, so look a bit more fearful than it was last year. And obviously 2022, September. It's always a pretty bearish period for the Bitcoin crypto market, September, and the stock market. It's historically a bad month. So that's just, you got 20s there in that September 2022. Okay. But if you look at 2021, it was it was in the 20s as well. Okay. But it's sort of zigzagging up and down between right up here at 80, down smash down to 25, and then bang, right back up. So it's got mixed periods depending on the year. If it's a bull year, it tends to be really pretty good in these periods. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, it did go down to, if I can get done straight, this bloody thing. But yeah, it got to 20, as you can see there, okay, in September of 2021. And then if you go back to 2020, and in the 40s. So it has mixed results. It's not always perfect, okay? So that is that. And we're on the charts now. Okay, so this is a DXY, a dollar index, the US dollar against the current world currencies out there. And you can see we are hovering around here at 101. And we just bounced off it, essentially. We've been wicking, a bit of a fake out there. Okay, in July of last year, we wicked end of last year. And we come back down to it here. And deviated slightly below. It's psychologically 101. Didn't have to perfectly bounce off it. It's just a rough psychological number that makes it easy to look at. Okay. If you go on the weekly, all right, you see it's a bit more clearly illustrated there. And we are getting a bounce. And will this be the bottom until we go higher? And then we can see risk off in the markets, or will it just drop off a rock? Because we need to see, for the crypto market in particular, you need to see these mania phases, okay? These falls off of a cliff, absolutely just plummets. And that is your alt seasons. So altcoins outperform Bitcoin in these periods. And you want to see them extremely bearish, the DXY, to stay bullish on the crypto market. Or if it does continue to grind higher and holds this level, and continues its grind up, and eventually breaks, and that'd be pretty bad. And then eventually end of 2025, it just falls off a cliff, to alt season, and see how low it goes. And I don't know how far into 2026 we'll go, but this cycle might play a little bit longer as recession fears are on the horizon. And recession typically go for anywhere from 6 to 9 months is the average. Pretty much, I think it's 9 months, if I'm not mistaken, is the average length of a recession. So it could play out a lot longer than expected and go into 2026 opposed to Q4 of 2025. It all depends on how the Fed respond, how quickly the money printers turn on and save the economy and the jobs market, particularly jobs market, because that is the thing that's really frothy at the moment. So you could see something like this play out, like a trend line. I don't know, this is just speculation. Then eventually you break, like this, like these times we had trend line, respected it, and then we sort of faked out a little bit there, and then boom, mania phase. That was 2021 period, okay. 2020 to 2021. Well, it's pretty well, June is right there. It was all 2020 essentially, okay. And then here was 2017 period, of course, into 2018. And it follows a trend line, and then eventually it breaks, and then boom, we just fall off a cliff, just absolutely just nosedives, So that's what you want to see, be bullish. At the moment, you could trade sideways for a bit of time too, So you got 2015, January, all the way to June. Okay, so that was like just over a year and a bit, year and a half-ish, and then eventually just broke up, okay? So we are trading sideways at the moment, okay? So from January 2023 to now is a year and a bit, year and a half, which is over a year and a half, so pretty similar period to this in 2016, okay? Trading sideways in this horizontal channel until we start grinding higher and then boom, fall off a cliff. This could play out very similar, We could trade sideways like this and then eventually, trickle up and then bam. Anything's possible, guys. I'm just showing you probabilities, the speculation, but typically this is what you want to see in bullish periods. I don't see that happening very soon, especially end of this year, going into 2025. I believe end of 2025, going into 2026. Like I've illustrated here. Okay, end of 25, boom. It all depends on the Fed when they start printing money and start buying up assets in QE. Okay, the balance sheet starts to curl up, and then this will be very, very imminent, and the alt season will start. All right. So the XTXY is very, very crucial to understand. And then we have USDT dominance, so the US dollar tether in the crypto markets. And you can see every time it's touched, so from December 2017, late 2018, nearly got there, not quite. June of 2019, we got February 2020, March, February. This is pretty much went for a bit of time here. As you can see, going to April, going to May, and November 2021. And then right now we're seeing it again, February to March, where Bitcoin topped. So these times to touch a trend line, as you can see clearly with these arrows, that's every time that Bitcoin has topped. Okay, so these are tops of Bitcoins. All right, this is the bottom of Bitcoin, bottoms, these are tops. Okay, it's basically the inverse chart of Bitcoin, but it's very interesting how it just trends up. This trend line, it just respects it very, very well from cycle to cycle, from the 2017 cycle or late 2017. Pretty much that's not that cycle's end of that cycle, going into the 2021 cycle, and then now. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely pushed. It didn't even spend much time here; just wicked, and then boom, started to trend upwards and grinded higher. And I want to see this trend line be respected. If we do come down, it's not the end of the world for the bears. The bulls will like it if it does break, okay, and then head to lower levels. But yeah, I don't think it'll break this trend line anytime soon. But it will definitely bottom here, okay, at the top of this, in 25, 26, 26. somewhere around there. Okay. And you have to wait here and see how high this thing can go. You've got levels up here, this red box and this orange box. So running why they're different colors and why I targeted this level. So first of all, pull a Fibonacci tool, go from the very top wick to the bottom wick. Whoops. As you can see there. And that's the 0.5, okay? So the orange is 0.5 and the red is the 0.786. I do see it going up to 0.786. And that corresponds to around the early 40s, early to mid 40s in Bitcoin's price. That's where I see it topping out before heading lower eventually. Okay. However long it takes, going into 2026-ish. Play it a little bit longer. And his trend line, as it obviously rises with time, and you join it up. Obviously, you got to drag that one out. Bit better, obviously, way of doing it. It'll bottom out here. Okay, somewhere on this trend line, like it has previous times, going back to December 2017. I do see it being respected once again. So that'll be the top of Bitcoin, and then boom, ship back up to mark the next bear market. But for now, we're bouncing and we're in an uptrend, and we are wicking and struggling at this level, 0.5. And I do see it going to 0.786, which, like I said, Bitcoin corresponds around the mid 40s, early 40s, and that is that. Bitcoin dominance is in this channel, has been zigzagging since June 2023. Up, down, up, down, up, and grinding. And we smashed through the 54% level, and I had this really struggle to get above it for a period of time from October 2023 to April this year. So a good 6 months, okay, we were struggling and we're wicking, and on the weekly is and then eventually broke through finally, retest, and now we're going higher. So classic break and retest. And I do see it go in the yellow box, which corresponds to, it's the right color actually. It is, yeah. The 0.618, okay, which is in gold. It's the golden ratio, and probably potentially a little bit higher than that, just a box range. That just goes from this breakdown period of the last crypto bull market year, 2021, and then it crashed down. That was the alt season. This is the previous alt season here, 2017. Okay. So that is 6.8. If you want to see where this one topped out at, these highs here. So you come from the breakdown period up here-ish to the QT low. And as you can see, if you measure it out, the 0.618, we just tapped it there this week in late 2020. Well, got really close to it in September of 2019. So you can definitely top. Had a 618 retracement, as I've showed you here. That was pretty much the breakdown downtrend, because it was pretty well flat. It was sort of grinding, but it was a really shallow, flat trend. And then when it just, see this big purple candle here, it just dropped like a rock. And then it came up to retest, and that was the official breakdown period. Okay, that's where I'm measuring. It's just a rough measurement. And at 618 was the retracement for this bearish trend up in QT. Okay, a top out before the Fed entered to QE, and then the old season kicked in shortly after that. I see it playing out similar when the QE happens, which is, I'll show you what it is. What is QE? What's QT? This is pink chart here. And that's the Federal Reserve balance sheet. Okay, so buying treasury bonds, corporate bonds, and mortgage-backed securities and whatnot. Okay, so they're buying up their assets, and you can see it bottoms here, then goes higher. After this, it's QE, right? This period here, so it just goes up and up and up and up, and then the Bitcoin dominance just drops, gives into the altcoins, and then you got this green period, which is bullish for Bitcoin dominance and bearish for the market overall, essentially. Except for Bitcoin does okay in these periods, QT. okay, after the bear market, comes out of it and then does okay. But that's when Bitcoin outperforms the altcoins. On the balance sheet, you can see this pink declines and that goes up, right? And then this flat period here and it goes up and flat. That is technically, and as you can see here, that is bearish for the Bitcoin dominance and good for altcoins, okay? I don't have to draw that one, but you can see if it's flat or going up, that is good. If it's going down, it's not so good for the altcoins. And if it's going up, it's obviously, good for altcoins. And so far now, it's been going down. Okay, I just marked a QT there. And yeah, it's a bit later, but this was the announcement period in January. They had a meeting discussing they were going to start tapering the balance sheet in March. And okay, so that's what you sort of knew. And what's dominance been doing? It's been going up. Okay, clear as day. Been grinding. It sort of took a while, and then boom. And it's surprising people. It's just still get going up ever since, the QT announcement in January 2022 to now. This has been 2.5 years, okay? So quite steady and nothing to freak out about. If you're a Bitcoin maxi, and once this starts to curl around, okay, this pink balance sheet, this will be roughly where Bitcoin dominance tops, and then it's all over. Bitcoin dominance, and the altcoins will be the winners, but not yet. That is not the case at the moment, okay, because it hasn't happened, okay? Just go away for that one. Others dominance, it's quite interesting. It follows the same patterns of QE, QT, okay, as I marked every red, green period. So green is bullish for alts, red is against Bitcoin, by the way. So others dominance, others in the whole crypto market, so everything outside the top 10, okay, and you can see it outperforms when the pink balance sheet's flat and rising, which is good. Goes up, goes down when there's QT, goes up in QE, as you can see there. It's not perfectly matched, but it trends up. Okay, now it's been going down. Okay, and it's been zigzags up and down too, but generally the trend is down. Okay, with this balance sheet, as long as it ticks up, this will mark a bottom. But we're really at this crucial trend line now. So come back to 2015 December. We started, and we came out. We started it here. This was confirmed in December 2016. So a year later, okay, we bounced off it again. And then we came back in August 2019, very close to it. And then December 2020, so consecutive retest of this trend line. Came back again in 2023 June, bounced off it. And then ever since start of the year, we've been going down, and we'll come back to it again. So will this hold, or will this time be different and it just crashes down? Who knows? Who knows? But this is a crucial thing for others to maintain their momentum. If it does break down, it's be the first time since 2015. And then, I don't know, where it's probably head to this level first before going to the next level, which is 2021. Okay. But, we don't know yet. Only time will tell. Okay, so that is that chart. And total 3, okay, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So this is the total crypto market. So excluding ETH and Bitcoin. And on the weekly, I'll just take this balance sheet off. As you can see, gold broke out. Okay, I'll show you gold for a sec. And this is the price of gold. And you can see we had a top, this pink, and we had a slight lower high there, but nevertheless we couldn't break this level. And eventually it came up to here, go up to these highs, as you can see, and then boom, shot up. And that was a gold breakout of these highs, and that was the bullish momentum. When that shot up, gold price, crypto market cap, total 3, topped. Okay, and then boom, it's been going down, okay, ever since. And then this goes down, and then goes up a little bit, and then bang down. Gold dips as well. Everything's pretty much crashed in March of 2020, the pandemic. And then gold goes higher, and so does total 3. So it catches up to gold, okay? But this breakout period I just showed you, these highs, and eventually breaks out. That's important to know. So this is the intermediate top. in 2019. Okay. And then you can see that price comes down, comes up, and then bang, comes back to these lows. Okay. Made in December 2018. And the pandemic brought back down these levels again. And then back to August to November of 2017. Okay. So back to these levels as well. And then if you go to now period, gold broke out here in this yellow. So you had these highs. So here's high here, this high here, this high here, this one here. It's got a little bit high, but it did grind for a bit. And then it just went kaboom, and absolutely bananas. And that was the breakout, just about. And then what happened to the total 3? It topped, just like it did in 2019, no different. And it's been going down ever since. Okay, so you've got support levels here, 530 billion. The wicks. On the weekly is nice and neat. And a downward sloping parallel channel. And it's stuck in it currently. And yeah, I just see it come back down to the lows, around 300 billion. So the low here in 2022 December. And then in June of 2023. Okay, you see it come back and revisit these levels. Like the period back in, I just showed you, in 2019, back to 2018 and 2020. Revisiting these lows, and back in 2017. So consecutive touches level before ultimately it just went absolutely ballistic and had so much fun. But yeah, we had to wait for the more pain to come, okay, to flush out excess liquidity, all right, in the recession, and then boom, had to go high, you can go higher from there. Then you got total 3 minus USDT divided by Bitcoin, okay, which is total 3, which I just showed you, but it's take out USDT and then against Bitcoin. So not USD value, but the Bitcoin value. Okay, it's valued in Bitcoin, and it's 0.39, okay, of Bitcoin's market cap. So less than half, and you can see it's below this flat support level. It broke down 1 month before rate cuts, question mark. Then we've got these QT and QE periods. Okay, so QE, it outperforms against Bitcoin, total 3, and then underperforms QT. Same with this period, QT, right, and QE. It just does extremely well. This rate cut thing I'm showing you is same as this this support line here. It was right before the rate cut, and this is the same thing happening here. Okay, right before the rate cut. I'll show you the rate cut real quick. Interest rate. And as you can see here, this was precisely right here, 1 month. So June, mid-June-ish, roughly. And then they cut here in late July. So, nearly towards the end of June, towards the end of July. As you can see, the cut a month later. And already the monthly close below it. Okay, it's monthly candle. A weekly, sorry. A weekly. I'll show you the monthly. That was a weekly candle. But the monthly candle, as you can see here, was a fat close right below it. Okay. And here in the monthly, we had a close right below this support level. So it's very clear to understand. And we're coming back up. Okay. But ultimately closed below it. So it's not looking good. I do see it's coming back down to 0.25. So 25% of Bitcoin's market cap. Visit this low, and then this low. It's wick. These deviations, and then back down to here. Okay. The rate cuts arrive. This will be bearish. Okay, as you can see there, just kept going down. And then it slam rates, and that's went back down again. So rate cuts aren't very good for the total 3 altcoins against Bitcoin. Others, Bitcoin, okay, and they got rate cuts. It's the same thing with the QE, outperforms, it's outside top 10 versus Bitcoin, and goes down in QT. It goes up in QE, down in QT. All right, this pattern here, it's from the high, the wick high, to the low it made, 6-7%, shoots up, makes 65% rally, comes back down, 62%. So in the 60s, okay, 60 down, 60 up, 60 down. The same thing's happening here, similar. So this is late 60s, 68, 67, 69 pump. It was 65, a bit less. Comes back. No, I see it coming back down to 71, so slightly more. In line with these, similar to these values. And this one, and this was 62%, but I do see it coming down to respect these lows. Okay. And then go to 0.08, which is not good. Therefore, the QE restarts and the Fed print money, buy assets, and then, yeah, boom, you'll see a nice big parabolic rally after that occurs. So just waiting on that to happen. You got ETH Bitcoin as well. Okay. It's on the monthly. And as you can see, if I put on the automatic chart, we have this big trend line here, this white trend line, and it starts all the way back in December 2015. Okay. And comes down and nearly touches it there, not quite. Okay. Got really close. And then it was a 53% drop from this support level. I'll show you on the weekly a bit better to see. And there we go. So this support level. So touch, sideways, down, 53%. Didn't quite touch the trend line, but anyway, got close to it. Boom, shot up. And that was the obviously QE. So it was bullish more than Bitcoin. And ETH bled against Bitcoin and underperformed in QT. Made a low here. He touch. And then we broke. And then 38% drop to this trend line. Okay, as you can see, touched it. Right. Touched it right there. And then it's kept going. And then QE happened. It bottomed. Then it went, kept going. And then it topped in QT. And that's been bleeding ever since. Right. Formed a base. Touch. And then breaks. Ultimately just breaks down after this sort of fake out. And I do see it dropping 28%. Okay. So less than this one, 38%. And less, 53%. So it's less volatile. Both assets are less volatile. So I don't see it being a drastic difference between the two. And this comes to the trend line, of course, and a box that I've drawn here. All right. So that is the 0.035 to 0.04 level. Okay. Of Bitcoin's market cap that Ethereum has to reach. So slightly lower levels where we currently are, 0.042. So you see it going a little bit lower before bottoming out and going higher when the QE arrives. But the interesting thing to see also is from the bottom period here in 2016 December to the bottom in 2019, okay, from the wick bottom here and the wick bottom here, the difference was 120%, okay, in green, as you can see there. What's interesting now is 2019, so the same bottom there, and then to the current low of this box is 120%. So it's the same measurement. So quite interesting there. So I thought it was fascinating. It lines up with everything, the trend line, the box, and the percentage decline. And it just seems like it's going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. It could go lower or not even get there. Yeah, it's just speculation at this point. And then Sol ETH. And we got Sol ETH, which is Solana versus Ethereum. We had a high made in the late stages of the 2021 bull market. Obviously bled down against Sol. Sol bled against ETH. Went down this low at 0.07. Okay, 0.007. Came back again. And then broke out of this resistance. Went higher. Now we're wicking in the weekly here. And we're struggling. We haven't closed above this level yet, which was this week. And it's struggling. And it looks like it wants to go lower. And that's the top for Solana versus ETH. And I should see a brutal drop. Probably to this low here. The bottom out here. And potentially these lows. So don't count it out. Solana can see a really, really freak drop. It's been doing extremely well in this current environment. Surprisingly. It's a high risk asset than Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's been doing very, very well against it. Okay, so that is that. And then we'll finish on Bitcoin. And on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin looks, it's a bearish trend, okay? It's going down. We are on the trend ribbon there. We are bearish, okay, as you can see there. Here's a red bearish trend with consecutive lower highs, okay? It's a low, the high. And yeah, this high is lower than this one, of course, and lower than this one. And this one is lower again. So we are going down, okay? There's nowhere else to put it. It is very slowly growing down, which is quite interesting. Each lower marking is lower than the next. They're all lower. This one is not quite as low, but can still go lower. But it's just a wick, that one. But yeah, this is going down, okay? I'm respecting this channel. And will we go down to the 51K and support level here, this cluster, and find a bottom before going higher, okay? Or will it go down to the 40s, 10,000 less, and revisit these clusters, which was the Bitcoin spot ETF launch, and this upwards sloping trend line. As you can see, this level in 2023 and 2022 December, okay? So yeah, touch. That was the form of this trend line when it first touched here, or you can count this week if you want to. And I do see it coming back down there eventually as the recession kicks in, end of this year, going into 25. So that is my prediction for that one. And the trend ribbon, as red gets. Another thing to look at is the MACD. This is so bearish. It's just been dropping like a rock. It doesn't look like it wants to curl up anytime soon. It just keeps going lower and lower and lower. Another thing, notably, that I found out too, is on the monthly time frame. Okay, the monthly time frame. I'll get rid of these arrows so you can concentrate a bit clearly. All right, this is MACD here. Okay, we're about to cross. We're just about to cross. So you can see that? Just about to cross, right on the cross. And it's not good, guys. It's not bullish at all. Every time it's happened, as you can see here, this cross here happened. Definitively crossed here. And it was in between. Okay, it was the dip of the 21 bull market. Then went higher, a little bit higher. Okay, you can say, yep, okay, did get a little bit higher. Then eventually it just went poof down. So that was that top. Okay. But notably, this level here, this 80 level, this blue line. Okay. If you wanted to wait before this pink line specifically led the blue line down below, so it went above this blue line, it went back below it, and the pink started to go below it right there, and that was it. Boom, dropped. Okay, it was down from there. So that was, if you want to really look at the MACD when it starts to curl back down and look bearish, that was when you saw it there. Okay, in 2018, actually, might go on a different chart for this. We'll explain this in more detail. So we'll come back to where we were. So that was the red line there. It went below it. Okay, it's MACD. And then in 2018, as I mentioned, you have to wait until here-ish, and then it went lower, of course. So it crossed. That was the top. Then bam, went down. And then 2013. All right. So if I go to logarithmic, 2013 there, and we crossed here, right, and it was already going down. And then eventually, when you got the pink line crossed below the A level, which is around here, and that was when it just sunk. Okay, it just went straight down. Right, down. All right. Down, the prices are down. How up this MACD level. Happened here, and the pink went below the A level, and then it sunk. Here, went below the A level, it sunk. Obviously, dropped heaps there. And we haven't even got above the A level. We just didn't even reach it. So we didn't even get to that level. And we're crossing already below it. So this could be the start of a downturn. And as you can see, if you draw a trend line here, this is the high. This high is lower than this one. This high is lower than this one. And this high is obviously lower than this one. So if you draw a trend line, it's trending down. It's diminishing returns so that the highs get lower and lower. With the Bitcoin price, obviously they get higher and higher. They go up. But the MACD suggests that diminishing returns occurs and it's going lower. All right, so not a good sign at all for Bitcoin price in the long term macro outlook for it. But yeah, that is just a macro where I see about, yeah, so like I said, 41K is where I'm looking at. Okay, 41,000, which I'll finish up to discuss why I said 41,000 as well to describe that to you, it is because of the Bitcoin risk. Okay, risk levels. We're at 32 at the moment, and early 40s is around 10 to 20 risk. If I show you on the risk chart, lower and upper bands, and I give you this, and maybe go on the weekly a bit more clearly, and logarithmic, you can see these at 0 level, the blue, and the red is obviously 100, 171,000, and blue, which is 0, 31K, as you can see there. Above that is the 44,000, which is a 20 level, and then in between these is a 10 level, which is right here, okay, at $41,000. And it could go lower, it could go to the blue, which is, if it rises up with time and going into next year, be around the mid-30s, as you can see there. If you grab this and sort of measure it out, going into 2025, it's 39, but somewhere around here, early 2025, looking at the mid-30s, okay? So that is possible too, so lower than 41, but so I said by the end of the year, around 41K, just a bit of fun. Doesn't happen. I'm not putting any bet on for it. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna put up the nice guitar that I have. I'm not gonna bet the farm on it. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. It's just a bit of fun, and what I'm seeing in price as this trend, ribbon, this big trend ribbon, this big bloody channel keeps rising over time, which is good. It's bullish in the long term. Okay, Bitcoin just follows this channel quite well and goes up over time, as you can see there. And yeah, I just see it going lower. All right, so that is the outlook for Bitcoin and the rest of the market. So I hope you enjoyed this long-ass video. I know it was a bit out there, but I wanted to cover everything as much as I possibly could in the crypto market, except for Ethereum. I didn't talk about Ethereum, but anyway, this is more a dominance Bitcoin to alts versus Bitcoin video. So we talked about the Google Trends, where Bitcoin's heading, and we're pretty bad, pretty low, and heading lower. By the looks of things, crypto greed in fear is pretty low in the early 20s, which is not good. And yeah, we just looked at economic data, CPI numbers coming out. So inflation numbers have to come in below what currently estimates are, or at estimates and below 2.9% year over year. If not, if it goes higher, then we're in a bit of a problem, a bit of a pickle for the Fed. That won't cut straight away. That'll probably stop them from cutting if you get a higher than expected print. But I do see it going lower. Okay, its trajectory is down and looks pretty clear from the trend of the CPI. And yeah, they're pretty confident in what they've done, the hikes. It's worked, I suppose, but also to bring it in balance when the inflation, starts to go down and down and down. That is not a good thing for the stock market, as it's not just goods. Inflation goes down; it's also assets. So assets like stocks and crypto go down as well. So asset inflation. So that hasn't really hit yet. It's starting to sort of trickle down, and the stock market's holding up pretty good, but the crypto market isn't. It's more of a high risk asset than the stock market, of course. Less money involved, but yeah, it'll sell off a lot sooner and a lot greater than the stock market. So don't be surprised when the inflation just keeps going down, and we could see a deflationary crash. That's another potential outcome, or if it's just driven by the unemployment rate just going higher and higher and higher, just taking off like a rocket. That's another reason for the markets to go down. So, yep, that is the outlook for that. And that's all the different charts, all dominance charts, dollar as well, and Bitcoin end up. So if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like, comment your thoughts below, subscribe to stay updated. Be sure to check out the links below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.